As we all live longer, age really is just a number. But retirement is so much more than one. Your Metro Detroit Edward Jones financial advisors want to know what you want out of your retirement, so we can help get you there. Call us toll-free at 866-975-8655. Again, that's 866-975-8655 to schedule an appointment. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hey everyone, and welcome to your Daily Detroit. It is Thursday, August 31st, 2023. I am Jer Stays, and Shianne Nocerini, what happened? We have run out of August. We couldn't go to Meijer and get more August?
We no longer have any August at home.
Oh no, none in the pantry.
None in the pantry, sorry.
Augustless.
Augustless, yes.
How are you? Welcome.
I am good, Jer. I am good.
So let's start out with a few stories here that I think are going to impact a lot of people. First off, there is news about I-75 and what seemed to be that never-ending construction. How are you feeling? It looks like we've got a couple of openings. You've got 12 Mile Road and the southbound I-75 ramps to and from 12 Mile reopening. You got 11 Mile reopening, same kind of situation. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling relieved, Jer. Relieved because I spent an awful lot of time on I-75 going to and fro. That exit ramp and entrance ramp onto 12 Mile being closed just really mucks up my day when I have to go through that area because you couldn't drive underneath the 12 Mile overpass because that was closed down. It was just so much work to get around that area. And just the other day, this weekend, my husband and I were right there at 12 Mile and John R. And I was like, when is this finally going to open? Because the work being done on 75 is done, but the entrance and exit ramps were not. And I was just like, this needs to finish. And then you sent me the link. It said it's open. I spent an awful lot of time, like I said, in that area just because I've got a kid in school who's also in cross country, who does cross country up in that part of town. I've got a kid that spends an awful lot of time at the Children's Hospital up in Troy. And so I spent a lot of time not being able to get on and off the freeway. Was a pain in my butt.
I remember earlier this year, I was visiting a listener's place of business. They own a business up in Troy. After I got done driving and I pulled into their parking lot, I X'd or tweeted or Twix. Ooh, Twix. Now I want to Twix. Anyway, I Twixted that I had no idea how people did it. How are you all okay up in that I-75 zone, which, frankly, I have mostly taken Woodward for most everything up that way ever since all this stuff. Because where I'm at, I've got the options.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go up Woodward. I'm going to keep things simple on myself. So this is progress. Now, the interchanges, they're calling them divergent diamond interchanges, which to me sounds like a WWE move, like the DDI, like The Rock executed the DDI on Stone Cold. That shows how old I am.
Yes.
Anyway, what do you think of those? This is ones where, if you don't know, they kind of the lanes kind of weave over each other to make it easier, supposedly, to turn onto the freeway and get through.
It's almost like a X. You're crossing over the other lane of traffic. And so it feels like when you're first doing it, it feels very strange because you're driving on the wrong side of the road. But I don't mind them at all. I think it makes getting on and off the freeway a little bit easier. You're not trying to cross traffic. Yeah.
You're not trying to make a left turn across traffic, which to me I think is pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't put it into words. I just
no words today. Thursdays are not days for words. We've not only run out of August, we've run out of words.
I just know what my arms do, when I'm driving the car.
If you were to see video right now, you would see Shianne literally driving with the back.
I'm driving an imaginary car to describe it. But I don't have a problem with them. I think they work well. There's also one there's one on 14 Mile and 75. There's also one at Big Beaver and 75. So I think that they're becoming more popular in Michigan because they're less dangerous than old school turning onto the freeway.
And maybe less annoying than the Michigan left, which
yes.
I think has its place, but sometimes it can take a whole bunch of time, especially like sometimes if you're on Telegraph or something like that, which is basically a freeway with a median.
It is, yes. I agree.
It can really be kind of annoying. It's almost like, are you sure you're not a freeway? Maybe not. Like, especially if you go by that bridge by 94, that giant football bridge, which people love it. So you know what?
They put it up for the Super Bowl.
True. Now, the guys, as in Fletcher and Norris, do not like roundabouts. And I just got word that a roundabout opened, a new one in Royal Oak, that is Greenfield, I want to say like Normandy. Obviously, since it just opened, you haven't used it yet. I haven't used it yet. But I didn't get the chance to ask you how you feel about roundabouts.
I mean, they're not my favorite thing, Jer.
Listeners came in strong.
They did. They were not on Fletcher and Norris's side at all. And I was just like, ooh, they're spicy. But
spicy roundabout takes. Who knew?
Who knew that roundabouts would be so spicy and they have such a hot take? I don't dislike them, but I also don't love them. But the one thing I will say, now that I'm thinking about it, what I hate are the roundabout to roundabout to roundabout to roundabout to roundabout to roundabout. Like there are some.
Isn't that out in like Bloomfield or something?
There's some in Bloomfield, but there's also some in like Commerce Township.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, can I stop going in freaking circles here? Because that's what it feels like. And then I do get discombobulated because my Google Maps are like, turn left, turn left, turn left. And it's like, but which way am I going?
And then if you've got Apple Maps, I find them to be a little slower for some reason.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like 3 loops around and you're like, where do I go next?
Where am I going? So yeah, so that is where
where there's like 5 different ways you can go gets a little bit confusing. It's a little different than when you're straightforward, you're just going through an intersection. There's one, I was visiting a friend of the show and I was completely turned around because it had all kinds of different angles. I'd never seen it before.
When it's like 8 different entrances and exits, it's just like, why? That's when I get a little bit like, where am I going?
Good news for you. This is just 2 directions. But it'll be interesting to see what residents think. I think there's this balance of, hey, new thing is great versus I don't like change.
Right.
It is a busy area. I didn't realize 16,000 cars a day, according to officials, go through that intersection.
And I'm sure that they are not going the speed limit.
I think that was part of the point of this.
Yeah.
They said is to kind of slow traffic down a little bit. It's an interesting spot of Royal Oak. In fact, I think I had to look at the map really quick to remember that was Royal Oak and not Berkeley or something like that.
Yeah, or Southfield. Like, where is the line between Southfield and Royal Oak or Beverly Hills?
That's right.
That's what it is. Where is the line between Beverly Hills and Royal Oak up there? Because I was like, the 13-mile road, 13 and a half. Where is that? So it's actually, there is a pizza place up there.
Yeah, I think it's good to see, some investment in these things because look, we're all using our cars.
We are. As much as people seem to think that we hate cars.
That's a thing. No matter what nuanced takes I thought with the podcast, we'd have nuanced like responses. We get some. And then we get others where you're just like, you're an idiot. And you know what? Let's talk about something where we're going to get called an idiot again.
One of the things I wanted to talk about actually is really interesting. They've been working on this on 9 Mile, right off of 9 Mile in Oak Park. And, we've had Oak Park on, Eric Turngate, about the linear park.
It's been a long time. But
it has been a couple years. Originally, when they redid the street on 9 Mile between, I want to say, Rosewood and Coolidge, they had put in medians and they had put in bike lanes on both sides of the street. And over the summer, they redid the work, which I thought was weird, but whatever. I'm not going to, it's neither here nor there. But what they did do on this stretch of like Rosewood to, I want to say, Scotia, is they took out the westbound bike lane, but they moved it across the street. So now it's a 2-lane protected bike lane that has parking blocks, but also the sticks.
The bollards?
Yes.
I think that's a term.
The bollards up to create a truly protected bike lane that's two-way.
I imagine Facebook commenters melted.
I'm sure they did. I want to say that I saw something in one of the Ferndale forums about it, and I just was like, I don't mind having a protected lane for bike riders. And
So maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like actual protected bike lanes are a good thing, because then if you're a biker, you don't have to worry about cars like weaving in for whatever reason. And if you're a driver, it takes away that randomness too. Like, I feel like that's actually the right solution usually.
right, because also, like, I know on Pinecrest in Ferndale, they have bike lanes on both sides of the road, and they have the bollards up. But just today, when I was driving down the road, there was a truck, a landscaping truck, parked in the bike lane. And then you have like the UPS truck. They all park in this bike lane. So it's like, no, granted, in Oak Park, in this area, it is a linear park. There's no houses on that side of
Yeah, they're
the
behind
street.
fences. That isn't where
Yeah.
those deliveries would happen.
So that's probably why they were able to create that.
I want to bike this or walk this path really bad, because you've been talking about it. I've seen it a couple times as it's been coming together. But to be clear, you do not hate cars.
No, I own 2 cars, Jer. And one of them is a giant beast of a Buick SUV, okay?
You want to tell people about Blue? How much you love cars? Tell people about Blue.
Blue, oh, that's a blast from the past. Blue was my first car. It was a 1978 Pontiac Grand Le Mans 4-door. It was the only year that Pontiac did not put windows that rolled down in the back seat. So it was like a cop car back there. But it was a great car. She was powder blue, and she was a boat. I loved that car. Unfortunately, the transmission went out on it, and I didn't have the money to fix it. So, Jared, what was your first car?
So I called it the Corpse.
The Corpse.
Because it died every Thursday. 1989 Plymouth Acclaim.
Nice.
The gussied up K car.
Yes.
Man, like, I've got a history of driving like boats. Now, there's some Ferndale food news you wanted to share.
There is, Jer. Had you ever gone to MBrew?
A zillion times. If you remember, a friend of the show and former co-host Sven loved MBrew. Like, it was his spot. We've been to a bunch of networking events there with the IT and the D guys, a bunch of other things. To me, it always had this big up north vibe.
It did. I did enjoy MBrew as well. Unfortunately, the owner, who also owned Dino's in Ferndale, he sold it, or he put it up for sale during the pandemic, and he moved up north. And so for the longest time, every couple months, somebody on the Ferndale forums is like, what is ever going to happen to MBrew? And finally, we have an update. Matthew Busgard of Bobcat Bonnie's.
Flytrap, all the things. But Bobcat Bonnie has been his signature thing that has done really well.
For the long, forever. Big mainstay in Ferndale. He announced on August 25th that they have purchased MBrew.
Interesting.
Now, this is off of a Facebook post.
But from him.
From the horse's mouth. And they're going to have to do some work on the building because codes have changed some since work had been done on it. So they will be updating it some. He didn't really give us a timeline. He did say, we're also working on opening the new Lansing Bobcat Bonnie's and working on updating the Flytrap dinner menu and updating that and stuff. So no real timeline.
Can I have a unpopular opinion?
Sure.
I loved the slice of up north in Ferndale. I enjoyed the porch. I enjoyed the games in the back. But man, that food was so mid.
Everybody on the Ferndale Fort loves it.
I mean, it's nostalgic and it's great if it's down the street. But to me, it was consistently mid.
I think a lot of people have asked for certain things to be brought back. And he said, I'll ask for the recipe. So we'll see what happens food-wise. And, he did say that they will be bringing the games back. So that is what I'm excited about. I love me some pinball.
Yeah. I mean, the games are part of the whole thing, right? It was also great because if you did an event there and you were feeling socially awkward, you could go play video games for a couple of rounds and then reintroduce yourself to the group, because none of us is socially awkward on this podcast whatsoever. Never.
No, not at all. Not at all. We are all truly social beings, Jer. I think you're the only one who's like superly outward social.
I am your outer id for the entire team. I'm the outer id of 7 people.
Yes. No, you and Devin.
Yeah, Devin. But does he exist east of Woodward?
I don't know. I've never seen him east of Woodward. I've only seen him north of.
I had a rumor he was in Grosse Pointe once.
Once. Anyway. All right. So now we've talked about MBrew. I'm also going to bring back some new additional news of, remember when I talked about the Oak Park Pizza Catch? We have an opening date. This Friday, September 1st.
So tomorrow.
Yes, so tomorrow.
Wow. Okay, so are you going to give it a shot, your local one?
I will give our local one a shot, yeah, because it's right down the street from us. So
I like the option of different toppings and things. You know, so in order to eat all the things that are out there in Metro Detroit, I'm trying to eat better when I'm not eating all the things. So the idea of pizza where I can tweak things, like, did you know how much salt pepperoni has? I had no idea.
Yeah, dude, it has to have a lot of salt. It's a cured meat.
Look, I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. Anyway, to have some variety and toppings and different things like that, I'm actually quite interested.
Yeah, we are big fans right now of the margarita pizza. My son. Over anywhere, really. But
so just the margarita pizza in general. You don't have a specific recommendation.
I mean, the margarita pizza at Crispelli's, wonderful. Also, the prosciutto pizza at Crispelli's is my favorite. It's so good. But he is really on a margarita pizza kick right now. So wherever he can get one, he will order one, basically.
You know something we should do? We should set some parameters for kind of a cheap and cheerful pizza competition. Because it's easy to like go for the best when you're spending a bunch of money. You know what happened to me the other day? I went and got pizza somewhere. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but they weren't anywhere as good as they used to be. And it hit me that it's really important that we find if these regular pizzas, like pizzas that are just like not huge brands, but whatever, people are going to spend $30 on pizza and breadsticks or whatever.
Yeah.
That gets to the point where maybe we should really start to put together a list of good, cheap, and cheerful pizzas. I don't know the right terminology, so they'll actually put something on their window about it, because we can't be like, it's good and cheap, right? Like it's not gonna win. But
rest in peace slices.
Right? Rest in peace slices in downtown Detroit. So many years of good, cheap pizza. But something where good value for money or something. I don't know the right verbiage, but I think people are really looking for that right now in the region. You know, people, of course, love to go splurge, and I know that. But what about Thursday night, and maybe you don't want to do, say, Little Caesars, but like maybe you don't want canned mushrooms?
Yeah. I will say I know, back to Ferndale, I know Como's has, like, I want to say Mondays and Tuesdays, they have half off pizzas.
Oh.
And so does Jay's Penalty Box. I want to say that's on Thursday.
Engineer Randy loves Jay's Penalty Box.
I love Jay's Penalty Box. I just, for some reason, always get vetoed when I want to go there.
We should go. We'll take Engineer Randy. We need to go do a Jay's Penalties Box night.
I think so. I mean, rest in peace.
The patio, though, before it gets cold, we got to go out the back of the patio there. Engineer Randy, I know you're listening. So put it in the Slack. Let's make it go.
I love Jay's Penalty Box. It used to be Bert's. I miss that club so much, in their breakfast. Anyway, can you tell I haven't eaten yet? I am so hungry right now, Jer.
You know, does your stomach use the phone?
No.
Because we're getting a call.
Oh, who's calling, Jer?
Now, joining me on the line for a minute, look, I'm going to give you a double dose of Fletcher Sharpe. And the reason being, because Fletcher, you're going to get some balloons thrown at you. And frankly, I consider that a newsworthy event. So what's going on this weekend?
This Monday coming is a Hamtramck Labor Day Festival, which is like a huge, huge thing. It's a 3-day festival. Everyone goes and has a lot of fun. There's elephant ears, which I love. They have some luchador wrestling, which honestly was a surprising thing for Hamtramck. But the big event for Monday, Labor Day exactly at noon, is the Hamtramck Yacht Club canoe races, which I was not very aware of 2 years ago, and now I feel like a veteran who knows everything about it. So essentially, it's like a boxcar derby for adults.
Because I was going to ask, because there's no lakes in Hamtramck, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a boxcar derby race for adults, and I know they say it's the canoe races. Hamtramck is very landlocked, so to make up for that, all the boxcars are in like boat type shapes, and people throw water balloons and water at you. So if you have any pent up aggression you want to take out on me, if you are feeling some sort of passive aggressive way, this is your chance to come and hit me with a balloon. Not in the face, please. I cannot stress that enough. Neck and down. Last year, someone caught me in the eye with a balloon and my eye almost closed up. Thankfully, there was ice there to like not have that happen. It's very painful. So I don't want that to happen. But you want to, mess up my sternum, you want to hit me in the kidney, sure, that's fine. If you got accuracy like that, for sure. But just please not the face. You want to hit someone else in the face from a different team? For sure. Please. So the point of the races is every bar and other places in Hamtramck, they put together a team and they race. I raced for Whiskey in a Jar. Great bar. Shouts out to Katie. Love you, Katie. We are the back-to-back champions. We would have been back-to-back-to-back, but COVID happened and they had an unlicensed race that we were not invited to. That two-way in won. So congrats to them. Yeah, kind of stings, when people don't want you around. Wink, wink. But I see why, because we show up and we win. And honestly, people have been. I didn't realize how big an event it was until I was walking in Hamtramck one time and someone was like, "Hey, you ran the races. You guys gonna repeat?" And I thought he was, just talking. But a lot of people were like, "Yeah, you guys gonna repeat?" And I think the best part for me is not just the racing and not the winning and not the competition, but when the race is over, like, of course, balloons explode and there's shreds everywhere. 5 minutes after the race is over, Jos Campo looks exactly the same way it looked before the race started. They clean everything up so quickly, and it's honestly amazing. Like, you see those videos of the Japanese fans after sporting events cleaning up the stands. It's just like that. It's nuts how you get kids who, like, hate putting away their toys, picking up random shreds of balloon all around the street. Just like, yeah, let's throw this away real quick. It's so heartwarming. Like, honestly, it brought a tear to my eye the first time I saw it. And, like, I know that sounds dramatic, but just see people actually care about their neighborhood and they care about their community, and just after having a bunch of fun pelting people they don't know with balloons, decide to, okay, let's go clean up this stuff too and just make sure the street looks nice, is really great. But if you're available, again, it's Monday. The races start at noon on Jos Campo in Hamtramck. It should be a fun time. You might see some people you recognize from other things there. You might see some people, might see some ex-girlfriends or boyfriends. You might see, someone you saw on television. You might maybe even see a DCFC player or so. I think it's a pretty fun event. It's not going to overtake Copa for me as the best event of the summer, but I think it's a really, really good event that if you are available for Labor Day, you should definitely get to, especially if you have kids, because, kids love throwing things.
I feel like there's going to be some people who throw water balloons at you just for a few of your takes this year.
I mentioned to my friend about it, and he's like, yeah, you said something about something before, and I'm gonna get you back. And he found out about the races. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna bide my time. And I'm like, you played college baseball. You can't come.
I was at an event over the weekend, and I thought to myself, one of these parties that we do, because I want to do our little happy hour, but also celebratory party for that finalist award. I want to do that in September. I feel like one of these days, I kind of want to do a dunk tank, but like raise money for the show with it and charity and all that other stuff,
Well, considering that I'm going to have a lot of balloons thrown at me Monday, I use my veto to not be the first 2 or 3 people in the dunk tank, because I'm about to get hit for everyone on Monday.
Well, they're going to force me in there first. This the other thing I want to mention too is that this is part of the Hamtramck Labor Day Festival, which runs the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. It's their 43rd year. There is a ton of music, a ton of food to check out. It's something that has been around for so many years, and I think it's a great way to showcase Hamtramck. They also do like a Labor Day parade and all that other stuff. And I know a number of listeners are involved with this Hamtramck Labor Day parade. So shout out to all of them. If you're going to be in town this weekend, go check out the Hamtramck Labor Day Festival and make sure to be there on Monday at noon to throw water balloons at Fletcher Sharpe, because frankly, I can't think of a better thing to do.
Not to belabor the point, But it's a really great festival. Like you said, they have a lot of local food, a lot of local music. I know G-Mac Cash, a rapper who made the song about the slide. Literally anything that happens in the city, he's got a song out like the following day. He's going to be there performing. So like if you know of his name, you should definitely get there and see it. I know there's a lot of local bands that just are there playing.
I'm looking at the schedule. The Detroit Cobras are going to be on the South Stage at 9 p.m. on Saturday. On Sunday, you got the Dead Milkmen at 9, the Polish Muslims at 6:30 on the South Stage. You got a whole bunch of other acts. And then Monday is when G-Mac Cash is going to be there. He's going to close it out at 9 p.m. on the South Stage. G-Mac Cash is, I wonder if he's going to have a special rap just for the Hamtramck Labor Day Festival.
He might, honestly. He might have a rap for the Hamtramck Labor Day race, just given how quickly and prolifically he makes a song. It's like, something happened in Detroit, and then 3 hours later, he's got like a 4-minute song. And I'm just like, that's honestly dedication. And like, it's actually not that bad of a song. It's, kind of slaps a little bit, as the kids say. You should definitely get out there, enjoy yourself, have some fun, and eat an elephant ear for me in case I don't get a chance to grab one.
All right, I have a question for you, Fletcher Sharpe. Do you think that we have made it if there's a G-Mac Cash song about us, or is that a bad thing? Like, I'm not sure. I'm like, there's part of me that's
it's
like,
a great thing.
It's a great thing.
If G-Mac Cash makes a song about Daily Detroit and we get our own, it'll be even better if he makes a song about us and then the chorus is about Daily Detroit and then each bar is about a person in Daily Detroit. That means we're there. If we're even just a footnote in a song, sure. But if he makes a song about Daily Detroit, oh man, that's my ringtone.
All right, Fletcher Sharpe, I hope to see you out there and good luck, man.
Definitely. Thank you. And if you come, please hit people with balloons. Hit me with a balloon, just not in the face, please.
As always, feedback 313-789-3211 or dailydetroit@gmail.com. Thank you to our members, patreon.com/dailydetroit or buymeacoffee.com/dailydetroit. Got some great things happening, and thank you for supporting us. Shianne Nocerini, so good to see you.
It is great to see you too, Jer.
With that, I am Jer Stays. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit.